So in this question, we have a right angle triangle. So let's start by labeling the three sides. Opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Which one's the hypotenuse?
This slanted one.
Okay, this is a hypotenuse. And do we know, okay, let's do this side first. 1,000 meters, is that opposite or adjacent to the angle we need to find? Adjacent, good. And then, therefore, this would be what? Opposite. What is the total measurement? How many meters is the side opposite? Good. 2,450 meters. How did you get that? Good. We add this and this. All together, it's 2,400 meters. So we're working with adjacent and opposite.
So what does that mean?
Which ratio uses adjacent and opposite? Adjacent and opposite is the tan ratio. Okay, so tan, do we know the angle? It's called x. I labeled it as x, is equal to what over what? Opposite, which is over 1,000. We're trying to find an angle, right? We know the ratio. We're trying to find the angle. What do you use when you're finding an unknown angle? So let's simplify this. Can you simplify? What's 2,450 divided by 1,000? 2.45. And then what do we punch in? 2.45. That's tan x. Oops. Right? Tan x equals 2.45. We need to find the angle, so we use the inverse. Second or shift. So angle x is equal to what, approximately? When we punch in shift
Is this easy?
10, 2.45, we get 68 degrees. Therefore, the angle at which it needs to be, what was the question? The angle is 68 degrees. In this example, we have a tree and we have this girl. She measures from her eyes the angle of elevation to the top of the tree is what? 48 degrees. What other information are we given?
She's 1.6 meters above the ground, so she's 1.6 meters tall.
Okay, so her height is 1.6 meters from the ground, right? She's 1.6 meters from the ground. Okay, so from here to here. And what other information do we know? Jover? Okay, so the distance between her and the tree is what? So from here to here is 7.2 meters. Where else can I label that 7.2? The dotted line, good. If the distance from here to here is 7.2, we know from here to here is also 7.2
From what?
meters. Okay? Are we given any other information? Are we given any other information? What is this question asking you to find? The height of the tree. We need to know the total height of this tree. Well, look at your right angle triangle that's drawn in this diagram. It only goes from here to here to here, right? So we can find, let's call this x. Okay, we can find x. Is that the total height of the tree? No. What part's missing? The bottom part. Do you actually know that distance? Yeah, what is it? 1.6 meters. So if you find x, how would you find the height of the tree? Add it to 1.6, okay? So I'll just redraw this triangle over here. Here's our triangle. I'm just pulling it out so you can look at it easier. This is 7.2. This is 48 degrees, and we want to find x. Let's label our three sides. In relation to this angle, what is x? Opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? In relation to the angle, what is x? Good. And what is 7.2? Good. So, TOA, which ratio are we going to use? O and A. Tan again. Another example with tan. So tan, what's the angle? 48 degrees equals what? X over, good. Put this over 1, cross multiply. 1 times x. Then you're going to punch in tan 48 times 7.2. And we'll round it to 1 decimal place, just because everything in the question is rounded to 1 decimal place. X equals 8 meters.
Look.
The question says, what's the height of the tree, though? Well, if X is 8, and this part's 1.6, therefore, what's the height of the tree? 8 plus 1.6 equals approximately 9.6 meters tall. Okay, so in this question, this is the diagram that we just came up with based on the question. So this is the diagram. The question's asking us to find the area. What shape is this? It's a triangle. How do you find the area of a triangle? Base times height divided by 2. Do we know the base of this triangle?
Yes, we do.
What is it?
240.
240. Do we know the height? It's going to go from here to here, right? What does this form? It forms a right angle triangle. Here's the angle. Here is the angle. In relation to this angle, what is the side length? We'll call this x. Where is this located in relation to the angle? Opposite. Do we know this side length? Do we know this side length? This one here. No, we don't. We know the whole thing from here to here is 240. It's not halfway. But we do know this, right? We know this length. You only need one angle and one length to use SOH. Where is this located? Where is 180 meters located? It's a hypotenuse. Good. So we have, again, using SOH, we're using opposite and hypotenuse with this angle. What are we going to use? The sine law. We need to use the sine ratio, so opposite over hypotenuse. Cross multiply, x equals, what's sine 42 times 180? X equals 120 point, okay, let's leave it at 120 meters, good, approximately.
Right, so
what did that represent in our triangle? What did this represent? Good, it was the height of the triangle, because we need to find the area of the triangle.
So 120 times 1.
What's the base?
240.
Good. 240 times 120 divided by 2. What's the area of this triangle? This area is 14,448 meters squared.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.